Y'all, the internet is on fire right now. Like we're talking full-blown meltdown mode. Bad Bunny, yes. El Conejo Malo himself is at the center of one of the wildest controversies we've ever seen in Super Bowl history. What was supposed to be the biggest performance of his career might not even happen anymore. And the reason? Congress, actual Congress just stepped in. Fans are saying this is bigger than the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. Bigger than Rihanna's baby reveal. Even bigger than when The Weeknd built that maze stage. But this time, it's political, it's personal. And its messy. Reports started flooding social media late last night, that's certain. U.S. lawmakers are calling for the NFL to reconsider letting Bad Bunny headline the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show just weeks before official rehearsals were set to begin. And let's just say, the accusations flying around are wild. From anti-American lyrics to unauthorized campaign ties to a leaked rehearsal clip that allegedly mocked us traditions, everyone's got something to say. And here's where it gets even crazier. Insiders are saying this isn't just about the music. There's talk of backstage betrayal, corporate deals gone sour, and a secret feud with another A-list artist that might have sparked this entire investigation. Fans are split right down the middle. Some defending Bad Bunny like he's a national treasure. Others saying this could be the end of his American crossover. So what really went down behind the scenes? Why did Congress suddenly get involved in a halftime show? And what was in that leaked footage that's got the whole NFL on edge? Sit tight, because what you're about to hear is straight up unbelievable. All right, so check this out. Everything started with one single tweet. Just one. It came from a verified account that's been known to drop behind-the-scenes NFL tea before, and it said, hearing that Bad Bunny's halftime show might not happen after congressional concerns. Nobody took it seriously at first. I mean, come on, Congress. The NFL, Bad Bunny. It sounded like a meme. But within hours, hashtags like hashtag boycott Bad Bunny and hashtag protect Bunny were trending side by side. Fans started digging. And that's when the real chaos began. Sources close to the NFL said that an internal email had been leaked, allegedly from one of the event coordinators, claiming that certain political figures wanted the league to review the cultural messaging of Bad Bunny's planned performance. Apparently, one of the songs he was set to perform included visuals referencing Puerto Rican independence. And some lawmakers thought it might be too political for the Super Bowl stage. Imagine that, the same stage where people have kneeled, raged, made statements for years, suddenly drawing the line at Bad Bunny dancing with a flag. So right away, fans jumped to his defense. One viral tweet said, "Y'all let every rock band tear up guitars on stage, but you're scared of a flag." Another said, "Bad Bunny just too real for America. That's all." But then, a rumor started spreading that the controversy wasn't just about the visuals. People started whispering about the clip. The clip. Allegedly. Someone in the rehearsal team had recorded a few seconds of Bad Bunny practicing a set piece, and in it, there was a moment where backup dancers were dressed like historical American figures. Now, some claimed it was art, a creative metaphor about culture and identity. But others, especially a few conservative talk shows, said it was mocking American heritage. One even called it an intentional insult during America's biggest game. From there, it snowballed. Within a day, a congressman from Texas actually went live saying, "We've received multiple complaints regarding the Super Bowl halftime performer and potential misuse of federal sponsorships." Federal sponsorships. That's when things started to look official. News networks picked it up, and suddenly everyone wanted to know, was Bad Bunny under investigation? Behind the scenes, according to an anonymous source who claimed to be part of the NFL production team, the league held an emergency meeting. Executives were freaking out, sponsors were calling, and even the White House was reportedly briefed. A staffer allegedly said, "We can't have another halftime scandal right before the election season." This was no longer about a show, it was about politics, money, and image. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny's camp stayed silent. Completely silent. No tweets, no statements. Which only made people more curious. Some fans said he was just waiting to make a statement on stage, while others believed his team was in crisis mode trying to save the deal. Then, out of nowhere, one of his dancers posted an Instagram story, just a black screen with the words, "They trying to silence art again." And that post, gone within minutes, deleted. But screenshots spread like wildfire. Entertainment blogs started connecting dots. Apparently, there had been some tension between Bad Bunny and another pop megastar, who had been considered for the halftime slot before him. Let's just say her name rhymes with Shakira. Insiders claim she felt snubbed when the NFL went with Bad Bunny instead, especially after her previous halftime show had broken streaming records. Some say she was one of the first to quietly express concern about his act being too controversial. Nobody could prove it, but the idea was juicy enough to feed the online fire. Then, a supposed insider came forward to candidly Cassie in a late-night live, claiming that the entire Congress situation might have started because of a leaked meeting between NFL sponsors and a political advisory group. In that meeting, the advisor allegedly warned that Bad Bunny's image could be risky for Midwestern viewership. That was all it took for people to accuse the NFL of cultural bias. Fans started posting videos outside NFL offices holding Puerto Rican flags, chanting, "Let Bunny perform." While all this was unfolding, paparazzi caught Bad Bunny landing in Miami, and the footage only fueled speculation. He looked exhausted, surrounded by his team, no smiles, no waves. One reporter yelled, "Are you still performing?" And he just shook his head and walked away. That clip hit millions of views overnight. But here's the part that nobody expected. A day later, TMZ-style reports surfaced claiming that Bad Bunny had a private call with a top Democratic senator. Allegedly, the senator offered to mediate between him and the NFL. This was wild. It was like the government suddenly became a middleman for pop culture. One source said. It wasn't even about the performance anymore. It became a question of national image. Think about that. A halftime show turning into a matter of political diplomacy. But here's where the story took a darker turn. An anonymous account on X, claiming to be part of the NFL's security team, posted a thread saying the leaked clip wasn't even from the official rehearsals. It was a deepfake. And if that's true, then someone might have intentionally sabotaged Bad Bunny's image to get him pulled from the show. And the more people looked into it, the more the timeline didn't add up. How did a rehearsal clip leak when rehearsals hadn't officially started yet? Fans began to speculate about an inside setup. Some accused the rival artist's management of leaking the clip to make him look bad. Others thought it was a political smear campaign. And meanwhile, the NFL's social media accounts went completely quiet, like they were waiting for the chaos to pass. Then came the biggest plot twist yet. Someone close to Bad Bunny's label told an entertainment journalist that the artist had been planning to invite two surprise guests on stage, one being a highly controversial Latin artist currently facing legal trouble, and the other a pop icon known for political statements. If that rumor was true, the NFL might have been trying to shut down the controversy before it even hit the stage. By this point, everyone was picking sides. Fans were organizing petitions. Political commentators were debating on TV. And the phrase Bad Bunny versus Congress had officially become a meme. But behind the humor, something serious was brewing. The NFL had a deadline coming up to confirm the final performer contract, and if they pulled out now, the backlash could be catastrophic. And just when everyone thought it couldn't get messier, a new voice entered the chat, Bad Bunny's own cousin, who went live on Instagram, claiming they're trying to break him mentally. He's been dealing with pressure from every side. It's not even about music anymore. Fans flooded the comments with hearts and messages like "Stay strong and we ride with you." But the cousin also hinted that someone close betrayed him. And that's where things start to shift, because the next 24 hours would reveal who that someone might have been. The question everyone's asking now: who was really behind the leaked footage? And why did Congress care so much about a halftime show? Because from here, the story only gets deeper, darker, and way more personal. And that's where part 1 leaves off, right on the edge of chaos. As Bad Bunny's world starts to unravel behind the lights, the fame, and the politics that suddenly turned his biggest moment into his biggest scandal yet. With the world holding its breath and Bad Bunny's entire Super Bowl dream hanging by a thread, overnight the story went from entertainment gossip to a full-blown national debate. Morning shows were calling it Half-Teamagate. News anchors were using words like investigation, influence, and political agenda. That's cool. Fonts couldn't believe it. And Bad Bunny, still silent. Still silent. But silence, as we all know, only makes the noise louder. That morning, a major entertainment outlet dropped an exclusive, claiming that the NFL had officially paused all production meetings related to Bad Bunny's performance. Insiders said everything's on hold until further notice. The reason given publicly: pending review of recent events. That phrase sent chills through the fandom. Pending review of what? Meanwhile, another bombshell dropped on social media, a leaked screenshot of what looked like a text conversation between 2 NFL staffers. The messages read, "They told us to scrub all footage and we can't risk a congressional hearing." Fans immediately started spreading it like wildfire. Everyone wanted to know what exactly the NFL was hiding. A few hours later, Bad Bunny's longtime manager Noah Assad finally broke the silence with a cryptic post. It was just a photo of Bad Bunny in the studio with the caption, "Let the music talk." No explanation, no clarification, nothing about the Super Bowl. But that post alone got millions of likes in minutes. It was like a quiet rebellion, a message saying we're not backing down. But while the fans were celebrating that post, the industry insiders were panicking. According to one report, major sponsors like Pepsi and Amazon were threatening to withdraw their halftime partnerships if the controversy didn't cool down. One exec was quoted saying the NFL can't afford another scandal this year. And just like that, the conversation shifted from politics to money. Then came the family drama. Late that night, a clip started circulating online, a shaky phone recording from a club in Puerto Rico. It showed Bad Bunny's brother, Bernie, arguing with a group of men. Witnesses said he was shouting something about betrayal and fake friends. Someone in the crowd claimed Bernie said he trusted her and she sold him out. Nobody knew who she was, but fans had theories. The next morning, she started trending. Fans speculated it might be one of Bad Bunny's exes, maybe Kendall Jenner, maybe Gabriella Berlingeri. Others thought it was a publicist or even someone from the NFL side. But then an anonymous source told a Puerto Rican tabloid that the betrayal Bernie mentioned was about a member of Bad Bunny's own creative team, someone who allegedly leaked rehearsal concepts to get paid off by a rival brand. And that's when the emotional side of this story really came out. One of Bad Bunny's dancers, who had been working with him for years, went live on TikTok crying. She said, "We worked so hard for this. People don't see what goes into these shows. He's been stressed, he's barely sleeping. He feels like everyone's watching him, waiting for him to fail." She paused, wiped her tears, and added, "This isn't about politics. This is about control." That clip hit hard. Even people who weren't fans started paying attention. Twitter filled up with messages like, "Let the artist perform and stop turning music into politics." But while fans rallied, Congress doubled down. A senator from Florida went on record saying, "We're not trying to cancel anyone. But when American symbols are used in ways that disrespect our values, we have to ask questions." It was a calculated statement, not too harsh, but enough to keep the controversy alive behind the scenes. The NFL was scrambling to contain the damage. Meetings were reportedly happening every few hours. One insider told a journalist half the executives want to replace him. The other half know that pulling him will make things worse. Some even floated names of potential backup performers, including a certain chart-topping rapper who had been vocal about keeping politics out of football. But here's where the twist comes in. Someone leaked a short clip from those internal NFL meetings. You could hear a voice, supposedly an executive, saying, "The Congress angle is just an excuse. Someone up top doesn't want Bad Bunny on that stage." That clip changed everything. Fans went ballistic. Suddenly, people weren't talking about patriotism or lyrics anymore. They were talking about sabotage. Memes started flying. One popular post said, "Bad Bunny versus the system. Who y'all betting on?" And right when the internet was at peak chaos, Bad Bunny finally posted something on his Instagram story. It was just one sentence. "They can't cancel what's real." No explanation, no video, just that. Within minutes, it had millions of shares. Celebrities started chiming in. Cardi B, Rosalia, even Post Malone. Everyone had an opinion. Some said the NFL owed him an apology. Others said he should pull out voluntarily and make his own statement concert instead. Then, in a twist that felt straight out of a reality show, someone leaked the rehearsal schedule for the halftime show. And guess what? Bad Bunny's name was still listed. That meant, despite all the noise, officially, he was still the headliner. But the drama didn't stop there. The same night, a new rumor surfaced that the deepfake clip wasn't a fan creation, but actually made by a private PR firm hired by a rival entertainment company. If that's true, it means the entire congressional outrage was based on a manipulated video designed to frame him. People started calling it industry sabotage at the highest level. But the question remained, who hired the firm? And what was their motive? The next day, an investigative journalist claimed to have traced the company that first uploaded the fake clip. It was linked to a marketing agency that previously worked with another Super Bowl performer. When fans saw the name, they lost their minds. The comments section was flooded with "she's scared he'll outshine her, and this goes all the way to the top." Tension hit a boiling point when a press conference was announced. The NFL was going to address the situation. Reporters showed up, cameras flashing, waiting for a clear answer. But instead of a definitive statement, the spokesperson said, "We are reviewing all content related to the halftime show to ensure compliance with league standards." And just like that, more confusion. No one was confirmed, no one was cleared. As the cameras flashed, a journalist shouted, "Is Bad Bunny still performing?" And the spokesperson smiled tightly and said, "As of now, nothing has changed." But that phrase, "as of now," sent chills through the internet. It sounded temporary, uncertain, fragile. Later that night, someone close to Bad Bunny's family told a reporter that he felt betrayed by someone he once called a friend. This insider claimed that Bunny was devastated, not just because of the controversy, but because he knew the attack came from someone inside his own circle. And that's where the story turns even more personal, because what happens next would reveal exactly who that person was, and why they might have tried to destroy everything he built. And just when everyone thought the fire might finally die down, Part 3 begins with the biggest betrayal of all, and a shocking confession that changes the entire narrative. Not the kind of chaos you can scroll past, but the kind that grips you by the throat and doesn't let go. By the time the sun rose the next morning, the entire internet was waiting for answers. Fans were convinced someone close to Bad Bunny had betrayed him, but nobody knew who. That all changed when a leaked voice note started circulating online. A 2-minute audio clip posted anonymously under the tag "Truth About Bunny." In the voice note, a woman's voice could be heard crying, saying things like, "I didn't mean for it to go that far, and they promised it would just be a distraction, not a cancellation." The voice was shaky, but familiar to anyone who'd been following Bad Bunny for years. It sounded exactly like one of his longtime creative directors, Maria, who'd been with him since his early SoundCloud days. Fans instantly recognized her tone, her accent, her rhythm, and the internet exploded. People started posting old photos of Maria and Bad Bunny together, calling her the traitor. Hashtags like Maria Betra de Bunny and Cancel Maria started trending. Within hours, Maria deleted her socials. But the damage was already done. Sources close to the situation told an entertainment blogger that Maria had allegedly been approached by a high-profile marketing consultant weeks earlier, someone who promised her career-changing opportunities if she provided concept materials from the halftime show. She agreed, not realizing those materials would be twisted and leaked to spark political outrage. One insider said she thought it was just for internal feedback. She didn't know they'd use it to set him up. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny's camp went into lockdown. His manager reportedly confiscated all team members' phones and laptops. One dancer described the atmosphere as tense, like nobody trusted anyone anymore. Even rehearsals, which had finally resumed quietly in Miami, were said to be full of awkward silence. No music, no laughter, just whispered conversations and side eyes. Then a close friend of Maria S. came forward to a gossip vlogger. On camera, she said she's been crying nonstop. She said she was manipulated by someone powerful, someone connected to the NFL sponsors. This was no longer a simple betrayal. It was starting to sound like a full-blown industry conspiracy. But the craziest part? Just as the internet was ready to crucify Maria, another leak hit the web and it changed everything. A document surfaced, allegedly showing an email exchange between an NFL executive and a government advisor, dated before any of the leaked rehearsal clips went public. In that email, the advisor warned that Bad Bunny's team should be monitored for potential politically sensitive content. That meant the NFL and Congress were already planning to review him before anything was leaked. So maybe Maria wasn't the mastermind? Maybe she was just a pawn. Fans were divided. Some forgave her immediately, saying she was used. Others refused, insisting that betrayal is betrayal. But one thing was clear: the deeper people dug, the messier it got. As the days passed, things got even stranger. The Congressional Review Committee, supposedly set up to discuss appropriate halftime content, turned out to include several members who had direct financial ties to NFL advertisers. One investigative journalist posted receipts, donation records, partnerships, even private dinner meetings. She said, "This isn't about patriotism. This is about power and profit." That clip went viral instantly. And while all that was going on, Bad Bunny finally broke his silence again, this time with a live video. He didn't look like the confident, smiling superstar we're used to. He looked tired, heavy, like he'd been carrying the world on his back in the live. Said softly, "I've always represented love, culture, and truth. I never disrespected anybody. I'm just an artist trying to share my vision." His voice cracked slightly as he continued. "People can twist what you do. They can lie about you. They can use you for their politics. But what they can't do is erase who you are." The comments section went crazy. Fans flooded the live with messages like, "We got you," "They can't break you," and "Puerto Rico stands with you." At one point, he looked down at the camera, took a deep breath, and said, "They wanted to silence me, but I'm not staying quiet." Then he ended the live, no music. No dramatic outro, just silence. That silence, though, spoke volumes. Within hours, his words became headlines everywhere. News outlets reported Bad Bunny fights back. Some even called it the most emotional moment in pop culture this year. But behind the scenes, there were still moves being made because even after that live, the NFL hadn't confirmed whether he was still performing. Rumors started circulating that Bad Bunny's legal team was preparing to take action against the people behind the fake video. A source close to his team said they know exactly who did it now, and they're going to make sure everyone finds out. That single quote sent social media into a frenzy. Fans started speculating who the mastermind might be then. A bombshell interview dropped on a podcast that covers industry secrets. The guest, a former marketing consultant who used to work with the NFL, he claimed that the fake rehearsal clip was commissioned by a lobbying group tied to one of the league's biggest sponsors, all because that sponsor wanted a safer, less divisive performer. In other words, They didn't want a Latino superstar making political statements during America's biggest broadcast. That statement hit hard. People were furious. Even politicians started to get involved, this time defending Bad Bunny. One congresswoman tweeted, "Artists should not be censored for cultural expression. The stage belongs to everyone." It was like the story flipped overnight. Now Congress was fighting for him, instead of against him, and as if the universe wanted to keep the drama alive. Maria suddenly reappeared online. She posted a long note written in Spanish and English, apologizing publicly to Bad Bunny. She wrote, "I made mistakes, but I was misled. I never wanted to hurt you. They used my love for your art against me." She even attached receipts, screenshots of the conversations she had with the mysterious consultant who pressured her. In one message, the person wrote, "Don't worry, it'll never come back to you." Fans were stunned. Even people who'd been dragging her started posting comments like, "She deserves forgiveness and she's another victim of the system." But the craziest part? One of those screenshots clearly showed the consultant's contact name, Jay Torres. That name rang a bell for industry watchers. Jose Torres was a well-known talent broker, but previously worked with several major halftime acts. He was notorious for playing both sides of deals, whispering to sponsors while negotiating with artists. People immediately started connecting him to the earlier leaks and deepfake rumors. By now, this wasn't just a controversy, it was a war. A war between art, politics, and money, and just when everyone thought the plot couldn't thicken any further. Bad Bunny's lawyer dropped a statement saying, "We have reason to believe the recent attacks were coordinated by individuals with direct ties to an NFL marketing affiliate." Boom! The world froze. Reporters started digging deeper, trying to identify those individuals. Fans were calling for boycotts. Congress announced it would investigate the misuse of digital media to influence public perception of entertainers. Ironic, right? The same Congress that started the storm was now pretending to fix it. But the real shock came later that evening, when leaked audio surfaced, supposedly a private phone call between Jose Torres and an unknown executive. In the clip, you can hear Torres saying, "If he goes down, our guy steps in." That one line confirmed everything. It wasn't about patriotism. It wasn't about the flag. It was about replacing Bad Bunny with someone else, someone safer, more controllable, and more profitable. Fans lost it. Hashtags like #JusticeForBunny and #TorresGate were everywhere. Even other artists started chiming in, saying the industry's corruption had gone too far. And yet, through it all, Bad Bunny stayed calm. He posted one picture that night, him sitting in an empty stadium, looking out at the field, captioned, "They can't take what was meant for me." That single post became iconic. It symbolized defiance, strength, and artistry against manipulation. But as powerful as that moment was, the story wasn't over, because part 4 begins with the ultimate showdown, the NFL's final decision, the public fallout, and one final twist that nobody saw coming, with the entire entertainment world holding its breath. After weeks of leaks, scandals, and betrayals, the NFL finally announced a live press conference to address all matters related to the Super Bowl halftime show. Cameras were lined up outside NFL headquarters, reporters shouting, fans chanting, and social media already predicting what was about to go down. Some said Bad Bunny would be replaced, others claimed he'd be vindicated live on TV. It felt like the season finale of a reality show. Except this was real life, or at least, it started that way. The press conference began with NFL spokesperson Karen Lewis stepping up to the mic. Looking tense but composed, she cleared her throat and said, "The league has completed its internal review of recent allegations regarding the upcoming halftime performance." The room went silent. She continued, "We found no evidence of misconduct from Mr. Martinez or his creative team. The performance will proceed as planned." For a moment, there was stunned silence. Then the room erupted. Cheers, flashes, chaos. It was official. Bad Bunny was cleared. He was still the headliner. But before the celebration could even settle, A journalist from TMZ shouted a question that changed the tone completely. Is it true that NFL sponsors were involved in spreading false information? Karen hesitated. She glanced off stage, then said carefully, "We're aware of those claims and they're under investigation." That hesitation was all the internet needed. Within seconds, the clip went viral with captions like, "She knows something and they're hiding the truth." Meanwhile, Bad Bunny himself was nowhere to be seen. Fans expected him to post something, maybe a statement, or at least a thank you. But he stayed quiet. A few hours later, though, people spotted him in Los Angeles, walking into a studio with cameras following him. Insiders said he was filming a documentary about the entire scandal, titled "They Tried to Silence Me." Rumors said it would include exclusive footage, unseen texts, and even a sit-down interview with Maria herself. Backstage, things were heating up even more. The NFL might have cleared him publicly, but behind closed doors, their relationships with certain sponsors were cracking. One of the major brands reportedly pulled out entirely, saying they didn't want to be associated with controversy. That brand's exit cost the NFL millions. And to make matters worse, Jose Torres, the marketing consultant exposed in Maria's screenshots, suddenly vanished. No posts, no statements, nothing. It was like he disappeared overnight. A few days later, a whistleblower claimed Torres had fled the country to avoid legal action. Fans turned the whole thing into memes, calling it the Great Torres Escape. But beneath the jokes, everyone knew this scandal wasn't over. Then came rehearsal week. Reporters tried to sneak glimpses of the setup, and every blurry image of the stage sent social media into overdrive. One image showed a massive Puerto Rican flag being lifted by drones. Another showed dancers in traditional outfits mixed with futuristic visuals. Fans were calling it the comeback of the decade. Bad Bunny, still silent online, was letting his art do the talking, and just when it seemed like everything was finally back on track, another twist hit. Congress announced an official inquiry into the misuse of artificial media in political discourse. One of the names mentioned? Jose Torres, another. A lobbyist who had ties to the same senator who started the whole outrage in the first place. That senator quickly released a statement saying, "We had no knowledge of any manipulation or falsified materials." Okay. But by then, the damage was done. The public didn't believe a word of it. Fans rallied behind Bad Bunny harder than ever. Protest signs read, "Art is not a crime and music over manipulation." Celebrities joined the movement. Even artists who had previously stayed quiet started posting messages of support. Cardi B wrote, "They can try, but they can't cancel culture." The NFL, realizing how massive the support had become, decided to lean into it. They started teasing the show with the tagline, "The culture can't be silenced." It was bold, defiant, and maybe a little hypocritical, but it worked. Ratings predictions skyrocketed. Suddenly, what had been a nightmare was turning into the biggest publicity boost in Super Bowl history. Then came the night of the show. The stadium lights dimmed. The countdown began, and millions of viewers around the world waited to see if Bad Bunny would address the chaos or let it speak through his performance. The screen went black, silence, and then the sound of ocean waves. A slow heartbeat and a voice whispering in Spanish. "They tried to erase me." When the lights came on, Bad Bunny stood, alone on stage, wearing a metallic jacket with the Puerto Rican flag on one side and the American flag on the other, sewn together. Behind him, drones spelled out the words, "We are one." The crowd roared. He opened with one of his hits, "Tichi Mi Pregunto," but halfway through, the music shifted into a stripped-down version of Yo Visto Así as he sang. Clips of his past performances flashed behind him. Awards, fans, protests, love, everything. It wasn't just a halftime show. It was a message. And then came the biggest surprise of the night, his guests. Rosalia appeared first, draped in red, singing beside him as the crowd screamed. Then, in a move nobody expected, He brought out Shakira, the very artist fans thought might have been involved in the controversy. They hugged on stage, smiling, killing the rumors instantly. Together, they performed a medley that blended Latin rhythms with pop, reggaeton, and even rock. The stadium was shaking at one point. Bad Bunny grabbed the mic and said, "This stage belongs to everyone. No lies, no borders, no hate." The audience erupted, fans cried, and social media went into meltdown. Within minutes, hashtags like #BadBunny, halftime, and #UnityShow were trending worldwide after the performance. Everyone knew it wasn't just about music anymore. It was a statement of resilience. News outlets called it the most powerful halftime show in decades. Critics who'd once doubted him praised his creativity and courage. Even the NFL released an official tweet saying, "Thank you, Bad Bunny, for reminding the world what unity looks like." But of course, every victory has its shadow. Hours after the show, a major news site reported that Jose Torres had been detained at a European airport. Authorities said he was carrying multiple fake IDs and documents related to the fake video. It was confirmed he had been the one pulling the strings all along, manipulating media, fabricating evidence, and planting leaks for corporate gain. Fans celebrated the news like a championship win. Maria posted one final message: "Truth always comes out. Proud of you, Benito." And for the first time in weeks, Bad Bunny finally spoke publicly again. On his Instagram Live, he smiled and said, "They tried to turn my art into a